Cleric, the house is that way.
Ik no verite stupido house is, Zachman. You don't have to be so galloping sausage about it.
Okay Cleric, what on earth? Why did you crash my Jeep into the garage? I just reinstalled it for the 99th time.
Oh, don't be a sausage, Zachman. You can have video on TV. Lol.
Now I have to buy another Jeep. And reinstall the garage again. If you were in driver's ed and pulled that stupid stunt on me, you would have failed miserably.
Driver's ed? What are you talking about? Your son could be the next driver if you can't teach him yourself, Zachman. But you don't know what a driver's ed is supposed to be.
Driver's ed? It's quite complex actually. It is a formal class or program that prepares a new driver to obtain a learner's permit or driver's license. Maybe Steve wants to learn how to drive. I'll ask him about it. Cleric, I don't know how to say this, but you are a genius. Steve, I've been meaning to ask you this, but Cleric suggested that I should start a lesson on driver's ed. He thinks you should be the next driver if I teach you how to drive. Wouldn't it be nice to drive around and be a very cautious person? How does that sound? Do you want to get a permit?
That's a great idea, Dad. Of course I want a permit. Let's begin the lesson.
Great, let's begin. Come outside with me, there is a lot to learn. Fiddlesticks. A traffic light. Stop the Jeep, Steve. Excellent, Steve. You had stopped the Jeep perfectly. You are following some forms of guide signs, which help drivers anticipate sharp turns or curves in the road.
Well, it looks like we are standing at a traffic signal. Such signals like these are used to control the movement of traffic. So Dad, now that I think about it, what did Cleric do differently at this traffic signal?
Well, that's for some odd reason, a long story. Cleric thought the red signal was a piece of pepperoni floating in the sky, and since Cleric hates pepperoni, he sped right past the signal. It was only a matter of time before we turned the corner at Zachman Street, when Cleric decided to cause havoc throughout the street side and eventually crash into the garage. So, long story short, Cleric was speeding a red light, and if only he stopped, I wouldn't have to see my garage all wrecked like the Incredible Hulk after losing 1,000 pounds in muscle weight during lunchtime before he went out to play his Xbox 360 in the grocery store.
That makes sense, Dad, although that was a lot of information. Is the light green yet?
I think that was a yes. Now we can proceed, Steve, on to another section of downtown ZR Land. Just so you know, green lights can sometimes be delayed. A delayed green light indicates that one side of an intersection has a green light while the light for the oncoming traffic remains red. Alright then, Steve. We are taking a pit stop in this lovely mini-mart just down the street in the corner of Sausage Lane and Zachman Street. While we are going to buy some more salad for the neighbors, we will talk about some more driving terms that we all must know.
Aw geez. You mentioned salad again. Excuse me for a moment.
Well, I now realize that perhaps the mini-mart is not a good place to chat. For now we are back at the house. Now, on to the terms. I think they are very important. There are lots of guide sign types, but I'll explain the important ones. You see, a warning signal that alerts you to possible hazards and road conditions. A pedestrian signal is a signal that's used at heavy traffic intersections that tells pedestrians whether they should walk, or wait. And then there's a lane signal. It's usually overhead, that tells whether a lane can or cannot be used at a specific time. Kind and unfair, I know, but it's there with a purpose, and I just said its purpose. And thus, with all the terms uncovered, I think you are ready for your driving test, Steve. You just got to follow every signal the correct way, so you won't have to mimic Cleric's recent destruction that he caused around the streets.
Hey, watch it, you galloping sausage.
Get back here, you stupid troublemaker. You destroyed someone's garage and you have 1,000 warrants for all your arrests.
Looks like Cleric is continuing to wreak havoc. I do remember that one time Cleric stole a red car. Officer Fiddlesticks attempted to chase Cleric, but failed miserably by crashing into the searchlights on the Fox structure. Cue the cutaway.
Though I just polished that.
Officer Fiddlesticks may be trying to stop Cleric right now, but hey, Cleric had one heck of a thrill ride with lights. Ha 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 soy 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 raffle 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 raffle.